Hi everyone, I'm Eric Reynolds and we thank you for watching Fox 10 News on our Sunday morning. And of course we are keeping and continuing to keep track of the latest with Tropical Storm Cristobal. We're going to check in again with meteorologist Michael White, who has the latest on the storm this morning. Good morning again, Michael.
Thank you, Eric. Good morning to you. Well, we're still underneath that tornado watch until 5 o'clock this afternoon. It only covers 4 counties in our area. Mobile and Baldwin counties are included in that, as are George and Jackson counties on the Mississippi side. But that tornado watch expires at 5 this afternoon. We had several tornado warnings go off in the 8 and 9 o'clock hours, but things have gotten a bit calmer, but we may see them ramping up again later this afternoon. Checking out the radar up near US 84, you're bone dry, but the rain coverage will increase across the area as a whole later today. With the heating of the day, we'll start to see the outer feeder bands expand. Most of the rain right now hugging the Interstate 10 corridor and tracking from the southeast to the northwest, wrapping around as the counterclockwise motion from the impact of Cristobal. Some of the heaviest rain right now falling around Sims and Big Creek Lake and Magnolia Grove. Heavy rain in Baldwin County around Daphne, Loxley, Robertsdale, Summerdale. And we've got Cristobal still in the Gulf waters. Now, the maximum sustained winds with this are at 50 miles an hour. So is this the strongest tropical storm we've ever seen? Of course not. We've dealt with way stronger systems than Cristobal. Now, this will not become a hurricane, and it's not really expected to strengthen. The issue for us is coastal flooding. So if you live in those coastal flooding zones, Dauphin Island, you may end up dealing with the flooding as a result of that, plus storm surge. We could have storm surge of up to about 3 feet because notice we're on the east side, so we're getting that onshore flow. So storm surge and some coastal flooding are primary threats. The other issue, the reason why we have the tornado watch, is because we're in the northeast quadrant of the system. When you're northeast of these centers, you're under the gun for dealing with a tornado threat because of the outer feeder bands. Now, once we're parallel to Cristobal, which will happen by tonight, the tornado threat will fade away. Maximum sustained winds are at 50 miles an hour, and it's moving quick. Cristobal's tracking to the north at 12 and makes landfall west of New Orleans later this afternoon and into this evening. By 7 o'clock, the wind speed should still be at about 50 miles an hour, but the tornado threat for us should be gone because we should be parallel to that system by the time we move in towards this evening. And once you're parallel, you're no longer in that northeast quadrant, and the tornado threat subsides. And then by tomorrow morning, Cristobal will be a tropical depression right on the Arkansas state line, so it's going to veer to the north and west and weaken quickly. But one thing you're going to notice is as the day goes on, we are going to see more rain, heavier bands of showers and storms. That's 4 o'clock this afternoon. More spots deal with rain. And remember, the stronger storms, we have to monitor for possible isolated tornadoes. That'll be a hazard. And then once we move in towards the evening hours, we'll continue to deal with waves of rain as Cristobal moves ashore in Louisiana. And during the overnight hours, although there will be gaps, there will still be some pretty rainy periods out there, especially for locations west of Mobile. Once we get to midweek, because when Cristobal's gone, it's still going to leave behind a humid air mass and plenty of opportunities for rain and storms to start next week. But a front comes in Wednesday that brings in dry air toward the latter part of the week. Morning temperatures go back to the 60s and no rain expected for the end of the week or the beginning of next weekend. So things are going to feel much better once we get past Wednesday. Now, we will continue updating you on Tropical Storm Cristobal on Fox 10 News Now and our social media platforms, and at the top of every hour here on Fox 10 Television. Eric?
Definitely. Thank you, Michael. And of course, we're going to get a lot of rain here over the course of today. But despite the storm being miles offshore, we are feeling the effects from Cristobal. And of course, many of you are now sending in video that you've shot. Chelsea Sayasane is here to tell us more about some of those incredible videos that we're receiving. Chelsea?
Yeah, that's right, Eric. And look at this one, y'all. I really hate it for the captain of this boat. So Dina Miller sent this in. This sailboat is off the shore of Fort Morgan and said that the winds are really, really strong in that area. But y'all, check this out. I'm not sure if that captain is from our area, but if he's not, you know, a lot of locals know that this is definitely not the place to park it, especially during a tropical storm. So we hate this, but of course, we're showing you all the video that we have seen. This may be the most dramatic yet. We also have another video to show you this morning. Michael Henderson videoed this. It's a water spout. This was earlier today, but as you can see, it is off Gulf Shores there. He is staying at Crystal Shores condo in Gulf Shores. Also, we've been told that our folks in Orange Beach are seeing some power outages, so be aware of that. But y'all, a lot of video coming in from off of this storm. We'll keep you updated. Please continue to send it in throughout the morning. Eric.
Chelsea, thank you very much. Definitely an incredible scene there of that sailboat, and hopefully that will work out for him at the end. Now, as Tropical Storm Cristobal continues to churn in the Gulf of Mexico, folks along the coast, they've been preparing, of course. Hal Shurk, he joins us live this morning from Baldwin County's Orange Beach. Good morning, Hal. How are things looking now? You've been out there for a few hours today.
It's wet, Eric. I'm pretty wet, to be honest with you. Here inside the storm tracker van right now, we're parked here at Cotton Bayou Public Beach area, right next to the Four Seasons condominium pier. We've been sharing some live video footage for you on our Facebook social media page, as well as YouTube. Kind of pop that up for you. That's what you're looking at here. It gives you a great idea of what the surf, the churned up surf here looks like out over the Gulf of Mexico. Winds are still very strong out of the east, pretty much due east, maybe east, southeast a little, as that counterclockwise rotation of Tropical Storm Cristobal continues to push these feeder bands of rain and wind on shore. Now, we did have quite a nice break in that for about 40 minutes, 35-40 minutes, the sun came out, people came out of the woodwork. If you were joining us on Facebook Live, you saw some interviews. You were able to kind of get an idea of what these folks were looking at and having fun doing. The tide is way up on the beach. Had some high tides this morning, and of course with the surge from this very large tropical storm, we're getting some high tides coming all the way up to where the boardwalk meets the sand here. So just pretty significant. You can see in the frame there, even though the rain has come back, there's folks still out on the beach checking it out, sightseeing, gawking at the huge waves and surf. Double red flags are flying here. Those went up yesterday and will continue to go up. The big concern that beach safety staff here has, I spoke with Brett Lassinger, the beach safety director here, a little bit earlier. He said that as this storm moves inland and the sun comes back out, they're really concerned about tomorrow and Tuesday, as these people that have been holed up inside get back to the beaches. They're very concerned. That's when they have a lot of problems, people wanting to get back in the water, but this is going to remain a very dangerous situation with this heavy surf for the next 48 hours at least, so keep that in mind. But that's what we've been looking at here in Orange Beach, and if you want to stay with us, of course, we'll continue to have some live video up on Facebook, so you can see what it looks like. But we had quite a bit of rain so far. I'm drying out in the van for a little bit this morning, Eric. Reporting live in Orange Beach, Hal Shurk, Fox 10 News.
All right, Hal, we thank you very much. That makes a lot of sense. Time to dry out a bit before more of the coverage continues today. And what incredible shots of those waves there at Orange Beach. And here's a shot now we're taking and moving you back over to Dolphin Island. You can see here that the waves are coming in, not as ferociously right now as they were in Orange Beach, but a few yards offshore. You can see definitely a break in that area. And the rain may have knocked off for a while. And as Hal mentioned, there are folks there on Dolphin Island's beach still out and about walking, checking out the site of what the tropical storm pushes in our direction during times like these. Of course, be careful, and we understand that one of the roads headed to the west end has been closed, so keep that in mind. Now, right now, Asha Staples and photojournalist Robert Brown, who were there on Dolphin Island, they're now headed out to the debris area there on the causeway. We understand that some debris is out there now. They're going to be checking that out for us. And of course, we'll get an update from Asha and Robert and what they find in our next update, which comes up at noon today. And of course, we'll continue to bring you those updates as Tropical Storm Cristobal is still headed in our way to the Gulf Coast. Of course, not directly here to the Gulf Coast of Alabama, but to the Gulf Coastal areas. We'll tell you more about that at the next top of the hour. So we'll see you back here at noon here on Fox 10.